Hi folks, and welcome to the Explore Games recap for the FPS or first-person shooter. Over the past 3 weeks, we've taken a look at 5 games, and here's what I took away from the experience. In week 1, I spent 6 hours on Half-Life 2. Half-Life 2 taught me the importance of playing with your point of view sliders in your options menu, as first-person view can make you queasy during high-speed escapes. It also made me realize how much I appreciate when a game encourages you to interact with the environment in such a pivotal and clever way. I actually went back and played a segment of the game using only the grav gun, not only for the achievement, but for the fun of it. In week 2, I spent 6 hours on Rage. I appreciated the theme and look of Rage, and it did an amazing job of immersing me in a world. I was actually surprised at how much I enjoyed the variety it provided, including the vehicle races and combat. I'm not sure how much I will enjoy racing when we get to that category, but this was perfect, sprinkling it in with missions and regular combat. Rage was such a hybrid, infusing some light elements of crafting and role-playing that it made me rethink my next category. In week 3, I divided my time and spent 2 hours each on Serious Sam, Quake Live, and Team Fortress 2. I was intimidated by all of these, thinking I was not up to the challenge. I do have a tendency to underestimate my skills, and ultimately my head gets in the way more than anything else. I did decent dealing with my first waves of combat in Serious Sam, and thoroughly enjoyed, I'd say, the first hour and a half. I realized that this was the kind of game that I would enjoy playing casually. That is to say, not sinking hours into it and beating myself up to beat it. I felt surprisingly much the same way about Quake Live. I was terrified to jump into a game and then relaxed, realizing it's just a game, and I was playing just for myself, not team-based. I got into it and had a ton of fun for, again, the first hour and a half, and then my energy started to dwindle. Team Fortress 2, on the other hand, the time flew by as I dove into tutorials and intense games. I had some connection issues with the server, which frustrated me, but overall I really enjoyed it. I can definitely appreciate a competitive game that pits teams against each other and forces you to work together with complementary characters. I like having choices and variance in character styles. That complexity makes me feel like I have more facets to learn and therefore entry points to get better. The same is true of the different gameplays. It is certainly intimidating knowing you have a team that relies on you, but in future I would definitely consider the coach and communicating more with my teammates. If I'm honest, I totally froze up on that one. While my varied games showed a bit of what is out there for the FPS genre, there is so much more. I've compiled a list of 10 high-profile FPS games released over the past year based on various gaming sites and channels that I watch. Titanfall, a multiplayer FPS allowing you to climb in and use huge mechs to stomp the field. I mean, come on, huge mechs, right? Evolve, an asymmetrical FPS that pits an evolving monster against a team of hunters. I'm really intrigued by this asymmetrical idea, and I've watched a fair bit of gameplay on this and thought it was really interesting. Wolfenstein: The New Order is an action-adventure FPS, and this is actually on my own Steam wishlist and almost made it into the games for this month. Then you have Destiny, which is an MMO or massively multiplayer online FPS, which allows you to level up with your friends and go on missions together and interact, and it is continuing to get more and more downloadable content. So that's definitely interesting and is out there and is something that you can check out. Borderlands, the pre-sequel, is an action role-playing FPS, and this one's a little bit of a cheeky title. I do have the Borderlands 2, and that might be showing up in another one of these genres. Then you have Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, which is a sci-fi military FPS, and I mean, I have to have Call of Duty in there because that is one of the huge titles within the FPS genre. Dying Light is just so big right now. It is a more recent release and is a survival horror game featuring combat and parkour, which is really interesting and different. I mean, certainly the survival horror is not so different. There's a lot of those games popping up these days, but including that really parkour element is certainly interesting. There's not a whole lot of games that work that in, and it can be something really fun and different. Far Cry 4 is an open world action adventure FPS, and this one's actually on my wish list as well because I enjoy that open world idea, and I want to go and be able to kind of explore in this really beautiful scenery that is created for this game. Then we've got Sniper Elite 3, which is a tactical FPS, and that is actually quite competitive out there as well, but it's really well done for its particular niche. And then we've got Lichdom Battle Mage, which is considered to some an FPS RPG. It definitely is more fantasy, so you're kind of shooting spells more than you're necessarily shooting guns, but if you like that kind of flavor of game, then you might enjoy that. I do encourage you to check some of these out on Steam for more videos, screenshots, and information to inform whether it might be something that you're interested in. I'll include links to the Steam pages for those games in the description below if you want to check them out. You can also search Twitch or YouTube for playthroughs to get a sense of the game. I also wanted to include some YouTubers here that you might want to check out to have some more ideas around some FPS fun. I've included some playlists as well. So Counter-Strike Global Offensive, or CSGO, is a hugely popular team-based military shooter that is featured in esports. It's very competitive, and if you're wanting to get into something like that and don't know how to get started, there's actually some really great tutorials at War Owl if you want to go and check that out. If you want to just have a bit of fun, then you can check out a playthrough with Jesse Cox doing Far Cry 4, the open world action adventure I mentioned. Or you can check out some of Ghost Robo's competitive Evolve that he's been posting a lot of, which is, like I say, it's very interesting with that asymmetrical idea. So it's not necessarily just like shooting each other, but there's that element of like, you know, that hide and seek, I guess, element as well, which is kind of interesting. And, you know, there's some different tactics around that as well. And the different hunters have different abilities. So it's fairly interesting, and you might want to check that out. My hope is that this has given you a taste of the variety within FPS games, opening up your mind to what fun might be out there. Please let me know what game intrigued you the most in the comments below. Likes and shares fuel my journey to be a better versed and skilled gamer, and if you wish to join the party, subscribe for weekly content or join me live on Twitch. Please remember to check out the description for games and other links, and thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in a game soon.